guys, I'm back with another 10 metal bands you haven't heard but should. It's not been too long since the last one. Repping this awesome Tumult shirt that I got when I saw them. That was really cool. So first up is the band that I think will maybe divide opinions more on the fact many would argue that they're not an underground band, that they've made it quite big, but that aside, excuse me, I don't think they have the same following as maybe a band like 1349 who are more breakthrough. So first up is Mgla from Poland. This is their new album, Age of Excuse, on Northern Heritage Records. I'd argue that they're one of the bigger bands I've had in one of these videos maybe, and they are definitely breaking through to a much wider audience. But with that aside, they're still, you know, they're on a small label, they've still got a very DIY aesthetic and attitude to their work. It's still very hands-on, small touring with sort of club venues and stuff. And I think Mgla deserve the shout out regardless because they're a really solid band. They've got probably my favourite drummer at the minute whose name escapes me because my Polish is just terrible, so maybe it's a good thing. I don't even know if I'm saying Mgla correctly, but there we go. They're just an insanely cool black metal band, huge atmospherics, really dissonant, but with that being said, they're very groove driven, very kind of catchy and accessible, I think. So I don't know, they're one of them bands I think, along with maybe like Svartadauri and Sinmara and the kind of Icelandic bands miss them in because of their melody. It might get people from the more entry-level black metal bands like Gorath and Darkthrone into some of the more dissonant stuff, and that can only be a good thing maybe, as long as these people, you know, get themselves involved. Next up is Triumvir Foul. This is their new mini-album, Urine of Abomination, on Thrush and Invictus Productions. This is, of course, the LP version. Triumvir Foul have a really interesting sound which incorporates almost some kind of noise and industrial elements with this really brooding, cavernous, evil death metal that has a lot of the attitude of black metal in that it's incredibly raw, it's incredibly harsh, it's clearly not meant for everyone to get, and I really respect that about these guys, and I just think it's a killer mini release. They've got a great catalogue, everything they've done has been really good. So definitely check out Triumvir Foul if you prefer death metal to be a bit more unpleasant and harsh. And that was the other band that have a bit more acclaim, and it's the Japanese death metal band or death doom band Coffins. This is their brand new album out today, Beyond the Circular Demise, on Relapse Records. But I think Relapse are one of these labels. They have they're a big label, of course. They did like a lot of the death stuff. They've got some huge bands like Gatecreeper who are really breaking through. But then there's stuff also like Outer Heaven, which I'd argue is still a fairly underground band compared to some of the other bands on the roster. But Coffins are insanely good death doom band from Japan, filled with grooves, melody, atmosphere, and at the same time, it's not maybe so much in the realm of like Hooded Menace, where it's very drifty and flowy, which I love. Hooded Menace's last album is one of my favourite albums of last year, or the year before. I think it was last year. Whereas Coffins bring a much more kind of kick your teeth in approach to it, as a lot of the Japanese bands, I mean on the black metal side, like Akitsa. No, Akitsa aren't Japanese. Who am I thinking of? I know I'm thinking of someone. Oh, I mean, stuff like Abigail, anyway. I don't know why I thought Akitsa were Japanese. Similar guy, shares members with Departure Chandelier. My brain's a bit fried at the minute anyway, so excuse me for that. But yeah, like Abigail on the kind of black speed side of things, it has that real pent-up, kick-your-teeth and aggression, which Coffins share, but in the package of some really atmospheric and death doom. It really grasps your attention. It's about 3/4 of an hour, 40 minutes. That kind of length, so it doesn't overstay its welcome, but they change things enough to make that duration, it can expand and grow. It's not kind of compacted to the point where they're just rushing through things. So a lot of love for the new Coffins album, some of their best stuff yet, I think. Next, from Hell's Headbangers, we have the new Slaughtbbath, I think you say it, sort of like a mixture of Slaughter and Sabbath maybe. This is just killer South American black metal, as it should be. It's fast, it's mixed with kind of like, you know, the speed and thrash stuff like Sarcophago and Volcano and all those bands we love. This is, what's the name of the album? Alchemical Warfare. If you like stuff, you know, like Bone Hunter, Hell Ripper, Toxic Holocaust, all that good stuff, then check out Sloth Bath, because this album is just so energetic. You stick it on and you're immediately just, you know, ready to go. I'm not sure, this is either their debut or their second full length. But yeah, Hell's Headbangers have definitely found one of the best, like, modern bands doing an old school sounding thing. And it's got stunning artwork. It's just absolutely killer. So if you dig that kind of fast-paced, blackened, maniacal kind of music, check out Slaughtbbath, because I've been playing this a hell of a lot. Next up is actually what slightly older release from 2016. This is one that I reviewed for the Legions of Darkness magazine I write for, the next issue, so spoiler alert there, I guess. But it's a Finnish band, and this is probably my favourite album at the minute. It's Antimateria with a name Valo Arkojan Taka, I think. I don't know, Finnish is hard, like, it's just a very hard language, but Purity Through Fire put this out back in 2016. If you take the elements of traditional Finnish black metal, like, say, Satanic Warmaster, Sargeist, Horner, Behexen, those kinds of bands, take that, add in some of the ambient touches of Lustra, Vargrav, those kinds of bands, Elderwind maybe to a point, and it just creates this kind of superfluously nice sound, but at the same time with this raw, piercing Finnish black metal at the heart of it. I absolutely love the kind of juxtaposition of those things. Antimateria have so many riffs, which is where a lot of ambient black metal loses interest, I think, is that there's often amazing synths and then absolutely no guitar riffs that are memorable to back it up, whereas Antimateria deliver phenomenal guitar riffs, haunting vocals, the kind of chilling synths. This is just, in my opinion, near perfect black metal from Finland, and those guys, I mean, the Finnish are just always on point with it, so check out Antimateria. I'm really glad the magazine brought me onto that album, and I ordered it like that. Next up, of course, Cerebral Rot with Odious Descent into Decay. This is the first of two 20-buck spin releases in this video. We all know what the other one is, but, you know, tension and all that. Cerebral Rot deliver this kind of festering, odious being a good word for it, Icarus horrible death metal that's swampy, it's nasty, very much in the vein of Fetid. I don't know which one I prefer at the minute, but it's just another 20-buck spin release that delivers gurgling, horrible death metal the way it should be. It's kind of doomy in points, but I've got a haircut in that. It's just really good. Their EP or demo, I've forgotten the name of it now, the 7-inch one, that was really cool, but their full length just completely delivers, blows up, and I'm really glad Cerebral Rot and 20-buck spin put this out together, because I think they fit the label perfectly. This is true, you know, the artwork, you should be able to see it's swampy, it's nasty. Much love for that. And next up, also from 20-buck spin, we have Witch Vomit. This is a lot more, very much in the old school death style of Tomb Mold and Cerebral Rot, Fetid, yada yada yada. But Witch Vomit have a lot more kind of grooves and D-beats that make it a bit more, I don't know, it's a bit more headbanger friendly, I guess. It's still got the atmospherics, it's still got the filthy production, but if you prefer something to kind of, rather than melt your skin, kind of just kick your ribcage in, check out Witch Vomit with their new album Buried Deep in a Bottomless Grave. I really loved both of these. I think I reviewed them both and I really enjoyed both. I gave both a high score, but I think if I have to decide on one, it's going to be Cerebral Rot, just because it's got, that's about 45 minutes, whereas this is half an hour. It has a bigger kind of sound, it's filthier, and it pans out more interestingly to me. However, that being said, Witch Vomit have delivered an amazing album. Their discography's been insanely good, and this is still one of the best death metal albums to drop this year. And if you prefer kind of kicks, punches, and grooves, this is probably going to be more to your taste. Next up, much in the vein of Slaughterbath, we have Alcoholocaust with a brand new album, Necro Apocalypse Bestial. They're from Portugal. Helder Prod Records dropped this one, or Productions, or however it is. So of course you know it's going to be great black thrash, speed, death goodness. It's crazy, it's fast, it doesn't overdo its welcome again. if you like the kind of stuff Nuclear War now often put out, Hell's Headbangers, of course, and Heldeprod, this is very much going to be to your taste. If you like, you know, Bastardizer, Whip Striker, those kinds of bands, or just you want black metal, speed metal, thrash metal, death metal, that's fast, catchy, in your face and fun, Alcoholocaust just delivered a killer album. Amazing work to those guys. It's so energetic. It's just likable. You stick it on and it feels familiar but new. Just how I like this kind of stuff. Next up on the Black Thrash momentum is Urn. Again, this is out today. Season of Mist Underground Activists or Archivists is Activists. Their new album from Urn, Iron Will of Power. I really, really like this album. I reviewed it last night and I went out and bought it. And thankfully I have it on the day of release along with the new Coffins album. If you like Destroy 666, you will like this. It has that same pummeling black thrash assault. But then there are some more interesting songs, like my favourite being Funeral Oath, that almost have that melodic and somewhat melancholic, but really just warming yet chilling, crazy sound of Witching Hour. And I love that. And I'm really glad Urn dropped this album. I think it is an astonishingly good black thrash release, which is a genre that's become booming again. And Urn really kind of separate the boys from the men on this one with a mixture of kind of bombastic aggression and stunning melody. So check this one out. I think it's their 5th full length. And finally, this is a band I don't think I've had in a video before, but I wasn't 100% sure because I've had this for ages, but I couldn't find it when I was just looking. I've got the CD on now as we speak, but that's Abazagorath, some amazing American black metal on Eternal Death. This album is about 52 minutes. This is the Satanic Verses. They have done a EP, I think it was, or a split since, in like 2017. But they take all the kind of crazy dissonance of, I mean, they're an older band, but similar if you like Abduction, that kind of really claustrophobic riffing. It's got some ambient elements. It's got some very traditional black metal elements. It's got a bit of everything, and I really like that because they work the ideas together in a really good package. This album's about 52 minutes, I think it was. So it's sort of the best of American, Scandinavian, Finnish, and German black metal, I guess, sort of mushed into one supremely atmospheric, in-your-face, raw, dark, and aggressive album. Check out Abazagorath. And I just want to give a bonus recommendation, which I nearly forgot to do, to my buddies Slimelord. This is their homemade CDR type thing for their demo, the Delta Death Sirens. I reviewed this when it came out on Bandcamp. They made these, they toured with Two Mold opening the 2 UK nights. It's a really good demo. There's going to be some great stuff coming from these guys. If you want swampy death metal, especially if you're part of the UK scene, check out Slimelord. That was just a kind of bonus recommendation, but you'll be sure to see me mentioning them when they have a full release put together. But their demo is really worth checking out. I love it. So give your love to Slimelord. Check out all the bands I've mentioned. If you know some of them already, that's awesome. If you don't, then all the more good shit for you to check out. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay metal.